This is Culture Breakdown's top 10 principles thus far. Principle number 10, shock value. Look at the disgust on Joe's face.
Logic never heard no 3 6 Mafia song in his life.
Logic, you are easily one of the worst rappers to ever grace a microphone. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what they telling you at Def Jam.
Yeah,
I know
man.
you sold a lot of records.
Don't do that.
I know you fucking
There's
sell
worse
out.
rappers than
I know
Logic.
you sell out. No, there's not. I know you sell out a whole bunch of tours, and I know just how successful you are. I have to be honest. You are horrible, man.
Shock value isn't a negative term, it's a marketing strategy. And Joe has years of experience in media, and he often deliberately violates social norms by stating his personal opinion, especially if it's not a popular opinion. This is designed to break through the media cluster to capture attention and create buzz. It's a genius marketing strategy, and he will also go on a rant, so to speak, like this one.
We don't.
Okay,
No, we don't.
Saha, put the record out.
Say something. Hey, wait up. Some more. Hey,
put the
more.
record
Check
out.
this out. More Rory Parks. Hey, all you. I never need y'all to speak for me. Hey, any of you rappers, it's still Joe. Put the fucking record out and say what you guys say. Don't talk about it, my nigga. I'm here.
But you're not
I'm
gonna rap.
not scared of none of these rappers.
I call this creating a moment. People think when Joe is screaming or yelling or quote unquote ranting that he's crazy or out of control. But it's all deliberate, folks. Nothing he's doing in these two clips is accidental or someone out of control. Both clips do the same exact thing. Spark a debate, stir up fan bases, and get social media in an uproar. That's how you create free promotion and build a platform. Joe is the master at this. Now, how does this apply to you? Well, when you go against the grain or say something shocking, you immediately captivate an audience attention. This can help you stand out in a room full of the play it safe types. Deliberately going against the norm will cause backlash, so be open to spirited debates. Being disruptive can pay off big time if it's played right. The easiest way to stand out in the crowd is to not stand in the crowd. Principle number 9, believe in yourself.
But, now I'm in a space where I'm learning about manifestation and being okay and being confident to say to yourself, I want this and I deserve this. And being okay. I think with a lot of things, it was a mental thing where I felt like growing up and all these different ways, playing basketball or doing this, or some things with music, me being too overconfident and expecting and I want this, it would never happen. So I just told myself, it was like I was jinxing myself.
Get into a place where you believe you deserve this, and this being considered whatever your dreams are, whether that's a promotion or respect. How can you expect the world to see something within you if you don't first see it in yourself? Projecting self-confidence and belief gives others permission to have faith in you and let it be known. There are certain traits a person must have to be considered strong, and confidence is at the top of that list. Principle number 8, substance.
Young women have to be, smart and prepared and substantive more so than anything else.
What's the positive? Right. What's the flip side that says when I walk in the room, you're so taken with who is this woman? And now I'm about to blow your mind with what I know about what I'm about to talk about. And now you can't stop me and I get whatever I want.
So you say
Now that's such a brilliant statement. Eboni understands that looks can only get you in the door. Substance keeps you in the room and positions you to make an impact. The one thing you'll notice about Eboni if you ever listen to her talk is she is full of substance.
I was listening to the conversation. I like to listen first and talk last. Mm-hmm. That's just my approach to media. I know we live in a Twitter social media age where everybody's rushing to put out the first tweet, the first IG post. I'm gonna put out the last one, but I hope it's the most impactful one. I hope it's the one that moves the needle the most and teaches people the most. My publicist and I were talking in the waiting room. Deferred prosecution should be the default to all first-time offenders with a nonviolent offense. Mm-hmm. If you're in school or you're working, you did something dumb, you were young, why do you have to wear that the rest of your life? When you could go on to be the next president of the United States, you could cure cancer, you could be the next Oprah, who knows?
With substance, know your topics, educate yourself on subjects, speak about them in a digestible manner, be prepared to share your thoughts and opinions in thought-provoking ways. Principle number 7, build a team.
Do you see the vision? You know what I'm saying? Do you see Belichick sitting in this motherfucker right here? You know what I'm saying? Do you see Kraft do you see the big boys who made the most millionaires, who put the most people in power, who really getting paper. That's what we gonna see, and you can't talk your way into that. And I understood that. So I'm saying why I said Sylvia Rome down to Talia Coles.
Down to Yvette, you've named a few.
Of course, shout out to Yvette, Erica, the whole team. It's a lot of females that work around me and they strong.
Yes.
You know, and that's the thing about it. As a woman, you gotta be strong. As long as you confident and you strong, you gonna make it.
Yeah.
Very few people do it alone. In fact, I'm willing to say no one does it alone. This boss-like mentality isn't I'm a manager, you're my employee. It's more about I'm a coach and I want to put people in position to succeed. Building a team is about getting good people around you to see the vision and can contribute to it and help elevate the brand. This piece of the puzzle often gets left out, but it's a valuable mentality to have. Build a team of people that have one singular goal.
I was just saying, like, you know, I showed up, obviously, and done my part, but I always do, not to sound crazy. So the difference is the team activated this time.
Right. We created the agency, which is the partnership between George Peniche, Karen Civil, and Stephen Carless and myself. And when I say myself, I mean the All Money Entity.
Yeah, but it's a team effort, though, you know what I mean?
I was gonna do the deal. Is what when Ross put the MMG thing on the table. Just the terms and the way, you know, Ross set up the conversation to start in that building, it was a great opportunity. It was a great situation. I just had a concern with my team getting credit for breaking Nipsey Hussle. So I didn't necessarily want to take that from my team. So I got a lot of respect for Rose. So I'd have done it off just GP, but I got a team I committed to ahead of time.
Damn.
And I needed to make sure they got the credit for what they did. You know what I mean?
You can watch any Nipsey interview and you'll notice just how much credit he gives his team. He realizes that he's the one in front of the camera getting all the credit, but he wants to make it very clear that he didn't do it alone. This is the first principle that's twofold or 2-in-1 that I've done on this channel. Part 1, have a strong team of people who's smarter than you and people whose opinion you trust. Part 2, always give your team the credit they deserve. It'll boost them and validate their effort. So, if you're an entrepreneur, start looking to build a team. You can only go so far alone. And really this principle is threefold because all money in is an investment principle in and of itself. Principle number 6, be the change.
Feel if you have a good heart or in a certain type of way, you're not gonna even think that type of way. So my agenda in life is to get people to where they're not even thinking about that type of way. And that I move that way, the way I move in life, and even on my social media, I be the change that I want to see.
Yeah. Right. And the best part is, you know, well, for me is like I really do what I do for other people because I done got everything I wanted. You know, it's like now all my agenda is for the betterment of other people as a whole.
That's your ultimate goal.
Yep. My ultimate goal is to have a little bit of Lil Duval in everybody. Because I feel like if everybody act like me, the world would be perfect. The best thing we can do in life is just be the change you want to see. Just be that.
I agree with Duval here, and I think a lot of people feel that way. If the world was more like me, it would be a better place. I totally agree with that sentiment, but being the change you want to see in the world is huge. I promise you, if you're listening to this video, somebody is looking up to you, other people are watching you, and people learn from your actions, not necessarily by your words. So people are watching, and if you want the world to change, little by little, start doing better. Start doing the things you want to see in the world. And little by little, other people will start to pick up on that, and it will spread across the country. And Lil Duval has done a fantastic job of being the change he wants to see in the world. Things that he's done or things that he's planning into the universe, people have started to pick up on it, and they don't even realize that it comes from Duval. That's a huge, huge impact on this world. So be the change that you want to see in this country. Be the change you want to see in this world, and it'll be a better place. So how that ties into living your best life is, if you're being the change that you want to see in the world, you're being authentic to yourself and you're being you. Principle number 5, brand yourself.
Oh, branding. I have to brand. That's probably the big reason why I'm not pushing this, because it's like, I don't even know what I'm selling or branding. So apparently I'm shamelessly promoting a study, a social media experiment on myself, which means I have to create a brand. I am rebranding because I want my name to be associated with Shameless Maya. And that means I need to visually put together brands like a logo, a website, you know, all that fun stuff, a Facebook like page. I haven't been promoting this site, this challenge I've been doing because I have to define what it is that I'm doing.
I was looking into buying Shameless.com. Wouldn't that be so cool? So I emailed whoever owned it. They wanted to sell it to me for $50,000. Here's the email. Are you kidding me? 50 grand? That's a down payment on a home. So I bought the domain shamelessmaya.com. Now that's shameless.
We need to simplify. People need to be able to be like, Maya? Oh, you mean that crazy girl? Because at the end of the year, I need to be shameless. By the end of the year, I should be so shameless that I explode.
Shameless is one thing, but putting Shameless and Maya as one, that's pretty shameless and tacky.
Her name now is synonymous with the word shameless, and that's very impressive. Honestly, that's the biggest lesson that I learned from Shameless Maya is how to brand yourself properly. That's why from now on, I want you guys to start calling me Jamal Nolan, the communication captain or the analytical admirer, because you have to be known for something. People have to be able to attach your name to something. And I freaking love what Maya did here. And I love everything she stands for, her brand and how she represents herself. Remember that as long as you're doing what you're doing, you're creating what you're creating, you still have to brand yourself appropriately. And I have to be honest that I never really thought about that until watching Maya move. Principle number 4, speaking into existence.
When I said I was the biggest boss, of course at the time, I wasn't the biggest boss, but that was my perspective of where I would end up. And that's how I always spoke things into existence.
Okay, that's a good question. Because again, my first impression of you when I first met you, you were talking that talk.
Believe that.
And part of it was like, yo, is he crazy? Is this guy? But I always got the notion that you believed what you were saying at the beginning.
Definitely.
Did you believe it, or was like, I have to say this?
I would die about it.
Right.
You have to believe in yourself first and foremost. Muhammad Ali said, I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was. Man, what a powerful declaration. You have to tell yourself every single day that you're a boss and that you're great, or whatever it is you want to manifest in your life. If you tell yourself something enough, you'll believe it. Obviously, this isn't a magic pill, and faith without work is dead. This is more about rewiring your brain to focus in on success and greatness only. Rick Ross said, I would die about it. That means no one could tell him otherwise. He was a boss in his mind, and that's all that mattered. And the world would soon find out. I believe you have to tell yourself every day that you're a boss or you're great, but you also have to tell someone else. Goals aren't real until you write them down and tell someone. We have the power to speak things into existence. Make this a daily habit and you're on your way. Let's take a look at Speak It and see how Deontay displays confidence through words.
Brother, I am the best that I know I am. I am the baddest. I do hit the hardest. I am the most feared. Record speaks for itself.
When you speak with confidence, you speak slowly, you speak with authority and conviction. Speaking slowly is such a simple thing to do, but it makes a huge difference in how you're perceived. When you speak slowly, you also speak with authority, and when you speak with conviction, that's just tapping into personal experiences and emotions that accompany those memories. Let's listen to Deontay again, and let's listen to how he speaks slowly with conviction and confidence during this press conference.
My words are powerful. What I speak is powerful. And what you will see is what I display. I will knock this fool out. He may not get up. It ain't no hoping and wishing that he gonna get up because he may not.
Principle number 3, build an audience.
And so to see that show spread was like an epiphanous moment where I felt like, oh my gosh, I can just have direct access to an audience. And then I started with Facebook randomly, trying to add all friends. When they opened it up to like the world, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna add all the Senegalese people because there are like 3 last names. All I have to do is type the last names and whatever. So that was like a community. I created like an African community where we would share stuff amongst each other. And 3 shows down the line, when I launched Awkward Black Girl, like I had accumulated a fan base from the other 2 shows and really learned from my mistakes, learned what people wanted to see, been studying like analytics. And by the time that show was put out, like there was an audience. It wasn't like huge or anything, but it was enough for them to share with their friends, and they would share with their friends. Writing spec scripts and pilot scripts and things like that. And then being told, no, your work doesn't really have an audience, nobody's looking for that. And then creating work online where I had an audience and people were like, oh, this is great. And that first show, my senior year of college, I always remembered, wow, I have direct access to an audience. I should probably keep doing this. And
as a creator or an inspiring creator, you have to live by the saying, if you build it, they will come. If you have the people on your side, you are ahead of the game and you have all the power and the influence. You can go direct to consumer in this new media era, and that's invaluable. Build your audience no matter how long it takes, and you'll have the leverage.
LA because I did live in LA for a while because the people that I did look up to, they were like, you gotta go to LA. That's the only way you're gonna get on. So I tried it. And then
did it work?
Hell, I am 3, and I was popping in Atlanta and Florida, but I was nobody out here. And I was like, man, I'm 3,000 miles away chasing a fucking dream. This shit is childish. I'm going back home. And I went home and I was like, I'm gonna just go with who like me. And I'm gonna build off that. I'm gonna build off that and create that. And that's what I did. And it was around the time when social media and all that shit started.
Principle number 2, the marathon.
I mean, like the marathon is an idea that it first was expressed on music, and then obviously through clothes with the marathon clothing. But then it's an idea that, if you really think about the metaphor of the marathon, when you look at it as like life, it's about endurance, it's about preparing, it's about mentally breaking through your barriers that tell you I can't keep going. Where you're more capable of you more capable than you think you are and then you're conscious of. So the name of the brand obviously is the marathon, and it just stands for endurance. It stands for staying down. It stands for like not quitting, accepting the ups and downs of whatever game you commit yourself to and riding it out, you feel me? Because, that's the reality of, success or greatness, that it come with a roller coaster ride, So I think that anybody could apply the marathon concept to what they do, if it's sports, if it's fashion, if it's music, if it's hustling, whatever, you're on a marathon, So to make that the basis of our, fashion line, I look at it like, we honor the people that ain't quit. We honor the people that stay down.
And principle number 1, listen.
I just have high hopes, low expectations. And that's been my key to happiness. I see trying as winning, and everything else on top of that is just cake. And so I think we need to put more emphasis on that so people actually try and live their dreams.
Like when I see branding, I see insecurity. I see people buying security, buying it back through a brand, protection, a badge. Don't mess with me in high school, I got Supreme on,
Let's look at how things were reported. When you report on a mass shooting, you report on a disturbed young man who had never shown signs of. When you report on a black kid shooting back at a kid who jumped him, you'll go find any dirt on that kid.
Absolutely.
When you report on a black kid who was murdered by a white vigilante, you'll find any dirt. When you report on a black kid who was illegally stopped by a policeman, engaged and murdered in the streets.
In all of Charlamagne interviews, he is doing more listening than he is talking. And I mean intensely listening. He is listening to them to learn from what they are saying. He isn't listening to get to the next question. He doesn't ask questions and then not let them finish their answer. He always allows a person to finish their thoughts and their speech before he moves on to the next thing. Oftentimes, somebody will stop and have a pregnant pause, and Charlamagne will let them think it out. He will not interject his thoughts or his words into their thought process. He allows them to think and speak. And if you can allow other people to speak and you listen intently, you will always have meaningful and deep conversation.
Listen. Always up and down for me, and I always been a fighter. I'm strong. Even when people was like, "Are you okay?" People was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yo, I've been to prison before. I've been locked in a cell 23 hours a day for months straight. This is like social media. Kind of, you look at it like, damn, is it true? Do everybody not feeling me right now?" And then you kick back into it. Like, I feel myself. I believe in myself. When nobody ain't believe in me, even like a lot of these people, I go look at their page. I be like, you don't even look like you ever listen to my music. You don't even come from where I come from.
Angie is there, I promise. She's just listening. You'll get an occasional yeah or mm-hmm. And I've talked about listening before on this channel, but Angie is a master at it. Listening is a vital tool to effective communication. In fact, listening is the most important way to connect with someone. When you listen to someone, that allows them to feel important and valued by you. And the more they talk, the more they reveal.
Thank you guys for watching this week's episode of Culture Breakdown. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next week, I'm out.
Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you're still here watching, be sure to hit the subscribe button over here. YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video over here. I say you should watch this one as well. Thank you for sticking around. Be sure to subscribe. Until next week, I'm out.